I think that the challenge is making it sound like it's 2018 without forgetting that they have a 30-year history. I'm Antony King, and I do front of house for Depeche Mode, and we are here tonight at the Berlin Arena. Well, we brought all sorts of toys. We brought, as you can see behind me, two SSL 500s running in mirror mode, so you can have full access to both. I can have my tech running. I can have Terence, who looks after me, running that side, switching things up, doing whatever he wants, which is very helpful because then I can carry on mixing and it doesn't distract from anything. And obviously, as a backup, we have a full rack of toys. We use especially the warm audio stuff, which is on the little rack over here. A lot of the WA-76s for Dave, Martin, and Pete on their vocals. The EQ1 PA is on the bass, as is the 2A. Those are really, really good and very inexpensive. We like them a lot. Also use some fine German equipment over here, which is made by Magic's Sequoia. We record all the shows every night. 114 channels at the moment we have. And it's working very, very well with an RME HDS PE MADI card, triple MADI card in the back of these computers you'll see to my left. Also made by some fun German people called Audio Networks, which we like. On this side, I use the Chandler TG1 for the drums. It just works really well on Christian's drum kit. It's got a really great pop to it, which I really like. A Massenburg 8900 mastering EQ, very nice on the master bus, as is the Smart C2, which is essentially a SSL 4000. Very nice. Again, very nice, very smooth. Just keeps everything, does exactly what it does. It's everybody knows what they do, these things. Have a Fatso on the snare. We have two snares, so snare top 1, snare top 2 on both of those. Again, very nice, just fattens it up. And a whole bank of transient designers on every drum. Essentially, they both kick mics, both snare. Just the snare top. The snare bottom doesn't have a transient designer on it. And all the toms, of which there are quite a few, 7 I think at this point. A TC D2. I love that thing. I like most TC. Everything TC make is top quality. For all the delays on Dave. You'll hear some songs will have longer delays, some have just a slapback repeat. And we have a Rev 7 classic reverb for the snare. It's the sound. It's the sound as what is on the record. So we bring one out. It's a little temperamental, but it works most days. We give it a hug every morning and hope that it'll make it to the end. Yeah, the Vox boxes. They were on the vocals. I used to use them a lot on the vocals. Again, a wonderful piece of equipment. But I seem to be leaning a lot more on the warm audio stuff these days. Again, just because I like it. I like them. They're very, very smooth. And again, great replication of the original gear. Reliable, which obviously is quite important in what we do out here. It's got to work. This is not a tour. This is not a studio. You don't have a chance to do it again. So it's a one-time thing. So it has to work every night. And then we have a TC System 6000. TC System 6000. 2 of them for all the vocal reverbs, which do all Dave, Martin, and Peter's vocal reverbs. All 4 engines. Again, a great toolbox because sometimes in rehearsals you might need an extra something because it's got compressions, EQ, everything is inside that box. So it's great to have at hand when someone says, hey, can you do that to my whatever? Right there it is. I can pull it up in 2 minutes and it gets you, it can get you out of a lot of trouble. When we time align the system, we use the TG1000 biodynamic with the little capsule on the analyzer capsule on the end of the mic, which is great because it's the same vocal mic we use for Dave on stage, but all you have to do is just switch the capsules and it becomes an analyzer mic. So it's a pretty cool system. Yeah, I was looking around. I've always liked biodynamic mics. I mean, they made the classic like M160s and M88s, 201s. There were all these classic mics over the years. So I called them up and said, hey, if you fancy spending the next year and a half, together, and we'll work on this. Yeah, work on this project together. And they were really helpful. And they came up with all these different mics. We tried them all, and we found all the ones we liked, set them up, and yeah. And we started out with everything Bayer, and I thought, well, if I don't like them, we'll just go back to the ones I normally like. And we never actually went back. We just liked them all, so we kept everything as biodynamic. I mean, I like plugins. I just like analog gear more. And when you're out here for a year and a half, it's nice to have some buttons to touch. And I know there's something to be said about a proper transformer. I think it's definitely and I'm lucky. I mean, yes, we're Depeche are interested in audio, and they're okay with me taking this equipment with me. Yeah, but I do run some plugins. We do use UAD plugins a lot. I use like the emulations of like the RMX16 because I wanted an analog one, but this just falls apart too often. So with the RMX, with the UAD plugins, you can use those emulations of what is a great piece of software, a great piece of hardware. You can have it in the software, which makes it great. So yeah, I do use for some plugins. Yes, there are definitely plugins on this gig. We chose L-Acoustics K1 as the main system. Mainly, I mean, I like L-Acoustics. They're a great company. They've been great for years. We used VDOSC for the last 2 tours, so it was a natural progression to use the K1. And it's great because a lot of we're indoors now, but a lot of the venues we were doing over the summer were stadiums. So they, with the throw, the K1 has an amazing throw, which just helps you bring the audio a little closer to people that are 200 meters away at the back of a stadium. Just makes the experience better for a lot of the people. And also we have the new subs, we have the LA12X amps, we have the KS28 subs in the air, which again make a huge difference to what the original K1 system was. I mean, the upgrade is huge. I mean, the power and clarity you get out of the new stuff is pretty incredible. The way I work, I guess, is very it's very logical, and I guess, I mean, I always start with the drums, then the bass, then the guitar, and sort of a logical way I grew up in audio doing things. Yeah, but I have, as with the SSL, obviously I have everything in banks, and I mainly use this tile for instruments, this tile for all the effects. All the effects are on this tile. All the instruments are here in 4 banks. So they nicely fit all the ones I use all the time. Some of them are buried further down that you don't necessarily need to move all the time, but these 4 banks, so I have drums, toms. On this one I have guitars and keyboards, because Martin plays guitar on some songs and then keyboards on others. Obviously Pete plays keyboards on every song. And it's great because they're all these are all stereo channels on one fader. So again, I can have double the amount. And I have all the vocals on here, and then some of this is the clicks and stuff that's not used as much. But yeah, it's a lot of drums, a lot of keyboards, as you would expect for a band like Depeche Mode. But the layout is very, I guess, not very exciting. It's very traditional. I guess I always have the kick snare hat on here, toms on there, some of the samples that are triggered by Christian on the drums. And then the lads, everything that Pete plays, everything that Andy Fletcher plays, everything Martin Gore plays. Some of the more drum samples. Pete plays bass on a few songs. Some of the crazier synth sounds come from here, and then some of the more padded sounds come from these ones. And then Martin's vocal and Dave's vocal and the effects. So nothing crazy. You don't want to complicate, don't want to overcomplicate it. Keep it simple, because you've got to do it every day, and you won't want to forget what you did with anything. So.